February, whoa! Almost pulled at February then and lost a lot. I better put these games down somewhere. March, can you hold these? Oh, okay, apparently March doesn't want them. Where else can I put these? Let's just put them down in 2019 for now, that'll do. Now, where was I? That's right, February. It's generally a bit of a weird time of year. We've just come out of January, everyone's waking up with their January hibernation and ready to jump into the next big project, next big game. But what is that? Well, for us it turns, well for me anyway, it's Wargroove at the moment. But if we look back at past Februaries, they're generally not too bad a month. As I said, we're all getting stretched up, we're all getting warmed up for the next big thing. And last February there were games like Dragon Quest Builders 2. And then from Nintendo themselves, we had Bayonetta 1 and 2. Pretty surprisingly big releases for this time of year. And they keep going on like this. Maybe not quite as big, but we also had games like Night in the Woods and Faye and SteamWorld Dig, and even The Longest 5 Minutes was a game that I quite enjoyed. So as you can see, last year's February was not worth sleeping on. You better wake up from that January hibernation then, because there was so much to play. This year's February, I don't know if it's just me, but it's feeling a little bit light on the toes. Let's not grind February down to dust. I mean, we do have games like Wargroove and Wargroove, and no, we got more than that. And we've got Tangled Deep, which I'm kind of didn't really know about until a couple of days ago, but it has pickles. That's the funniest one yet. It has pixels and it has RPG elements, so it's definitely something that I just all of a sudden went, oh, I might keep an eye on that one. And then we have Evoland 1 and 2, which I played the first one a little while ago, really enjoyed it. You're basically just going through the eras of RPGs, which is really interesting, and it's kind of cool seeing all the different graphical styles they managed to squeeze into these one game. So I'm interested to see what they did with 2 and jump back into that one. And of course it comes as one package now. So it's not like February just has nothing going for it. There's a few like scattered, they did throw some feed out here for us, but there's nothing big. I think that's what it's come down to. I mean, Wargroove, don't get me wrong, that's big, but these are still indie games. This isn't like any of the third-party developers throwing out something big, or Nintendo themselves even like throwing us a piece of cheese and saying to nibble on it. There's just nothing here for us to really get our... I don't have any food terms to go with that. To eat, let's just go with that. Nothing to really sink our teeth into. That's what I was going for. I think things wouldn't look so bad if I lived in Japan at the moment, because they are getting Destiny Connect, which if you haven't checked out my video on Destiny Connect, go back and check that one out. I'll leave that little I button wherever it lands somewhere on the screen. And that's a really interesting game that Japan is getting made by NIS, a really cool RPG. So I really hope that manages to make its way over here. Of course, that's not coming in February for us, but yeah, that sucks. What this comes down to is that I think this month, massive missed opportunity by a lot of developers out there who might have been able to get their game out. And like, no, I'm not telling anyone to rush their game out because February is here, go, go, go. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm basically saying that if any games could come out right now, they have a real fighting chance, because like at the moment, if you're not playing Wargroove, I don't know what you're doing. I'm just joking. People can have their own loves and dislikes, and I'm not going to judge you for that, at least not while the camera's rolling. But seriously, like this month is so light on content that I feel like anything big that comes out right now just has a real fighting chance. And so that's what I want to talk about. I want to go over some games that I've just picked out here and gone, you know what, these are the type of games that coming out in any other month, they might struggle a little bit, like coming out against games like maybe Animal Crossing or Luigi's Mansion or any of these other big hitters. Okay, like Luigi's Mansion, let's not say big hitter, but like decent hitters. These other games are going to struggle against them. And so I just feel like right now is the biggest missed opportunity for them, and let's get into those games instead of repeating what I just said. Now the first one that I have here is Pikmin, and if you watched Arlo's video, you're probably like me and still have no idea when Pikmin 4 is coming out, but maybe that could be soon, and right now makes sense for Pikmin. It's not a massive hitter that could like knock anything out of the park on another day of the week, but month or year. But right now is a pretty good time for Pikmin 4 to be just kind of splashed down on us, because there's a clear slate here. Go Pikmin, go! No, that was Hey Pikmin, that was the game, but that sounds like the mobile version of that game. But this is a really good time for Pikmin to kind of hit, which is why I could see them just doing a sleeper hit of here's Pikmin 4, everyone go! Again with a go, Eric. So that would be a really good hit to fit into this little timescape here. The other one that I'm kind of thinking of here is another one that I've mentioned, and that's Dragon Quest Builders, the second 2, as more people actually like to call it. Dragon Quest Builders 2 would make perfect sense going in here if they had done the localization by now, which they obviously haven't finished the localization. The last one took 8 months, and of course the game only just came out in December. Yeah, December in Japan, which means that if we're going by track records, we're still a little ways off getting that. However, if they'd managed to get their act into gear and get it out now, it would have been the perfect time. I mean, this one launched last year and found a good amount of success February last year, so why not go for it again? It would have been perfect, but beggars can't be choosers, and they missed the boat. Speaking of games that I have covered, Town is the next one on my list. This one would slot in perfectly because like it's Game Freak, it's nowhere near as big as Pokemon, they need to fit it in somewhere, and I don't feel like, because people don't associate Game Freak spin-offs with Nintendo, I don't feel like this is going to make the impact that it needs to be able to go anywhere else in the year, if it gets, depending how it gets filled up. Anyway, I'm just making assumptions here as always, but I feel like right now, obviously Town's not ready, that's the reason it's not here, but if it was ready by now, it would have been a really good month to see Town actually flourish, and as you're going to see with some of these games getting into this list, I feel like games like RPGs are the perfect thing for right now, because we don't have another big game to be waiting for. Like, if we could just get into this one, and it kind of ties into the next one on my list, like Dragon's Dogma, like that's another game that isn't going to make a big splash, and it's a really big game that we could find time to kind of pump hours into these games. And that was my problem when I first played Dragon's Dogma a while ago, is that I got into it, I got 5 hours in, and other games were like pulling at my attention saying, Eric, come over here please, and I was like, all right, I'm coming, and I left that game behind. And I feel like right now, if we got Dragon's Dogma, I would give it another chance. I would jump back into that game, and I might actually have time to finish it. You know, there's not, and like, apart from my backlog, which is constantly like tugging on my shirt telling me to come back there, there's nothing else for me to kind of jump into. Now I've got one more here, which is a bit of a cheat because it's a bit of a group answer. Before I let you take some of the other ones, and I don't take them all, and that's a group of Final Fantasy games that are coming out. Of course, the next one that was supposed to be next was Final Fantasy Chocobo Mystery Dungeon Everybody. Shorten your names, guys. Like there was a short way to have that name. It doesn't need to be that long. But that was supposed to be the next one that was coming out, and where is it? We know Japan's getting it in, I just covered this, March, but it's not coming out here just yet, so now would have been a really good time to have that game slotted in, because again, clear slate, let's throw that in here. Same with any of those other Final Fantasy RPGs, like, you know, what is it, 7 and 8 or 9, I don't know which one of the two it is, I get confused, and 10 and 10-2 and 12 and whatever else is coming, Crystal Chronicles, how do I always forget Crystal Chronicles? Any of those games slotted in right here, right now, big RPG, open slate, let me go, let me jump into them. And that would have been perfect, but again, missed opportunity. And hopefully we do see something kind of slot into this February slot here. Couldn't think of a better term than slot. All right, everyone, that is going to do it for today. Although I still do have that question for you of, what game do you think could use this February boost? What do you reckon needs to push in the back from in a good way, from February, and just that would really make a big difference, or maybe just one that you would like to see? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. For today's end screen, I just want to say, it's been a good run, but I'm finally starting to run out of Mario t-shirts to wear. So you're going to start seeing some repeats from now on. I still have some that you probably haven't seen yet, but we've been through quite a lot of videos and quite a lot of t-shirts, so you're going to start to see some repeats. Anyway, goodbye.